GeeksforGeeks has a challenge for you, the 390 challenge. Choose what you want to learn in 2024 and aim to complete at least 90% of the course in the next 90 days. And if you do that, you get back 90% of what you paid for the course. We believe you can do that. Now all you got to do is commit to your success, commit with Geeks4Geeks. Geeks4Geeks has a challenge for you, the 390 challenge. Choose what you want to learn in 2024 and aim to complete at least 90% of the course in the next 90 days. And if you do that, you get back 90% of what you paid for the course. We believe you can do that. Now all you got to do is commit to your success, commit with Geeks4Geeks. Geeks4Geeks has a challenge for you.
Okay guys, now I think the audio might be fine, so we can start. Perfect. Right. So hey everyone, I'm Harshal Jain, your mentor at Geeks4Geeks, and today we are going to build this awesome weather application. So this is going to be a weather application, and you can see that it has a Glassmorphic look, although you can make it a lot of better with some more properties. You can show things which you get from API, which we're gonna discuss today. And definitely this is a simple weather application which would be very useful for those who are trying to learn React.JS and don't really know how to just show things in their page. If they get some data from some location, like I got this data from my weather API, similarly you can create your own backend, and from there also you get some API like user data or any other kind of data. So similarly, you can do these things, but today we're gonna build this weather application. We're gonna get this complete data into our React.js application first. So for that, guys, I'm gonna discuss a few things. There are some basics which we'll see to actually get that data, and I'm gonna start things from scratch. And there is no such prerequisites, but I would say you must know at least HTML, CSS, JavaScript, so that you can cope up with me. Else we are going to use very basic things like in React.js we're going to use Next.js specifically, but in that also we are just going to use very basic things. Like it's like even if you don't know those things, you can easily see and learn those things right now. Okay, so let's do that. But before that, guys, I'm going to mention about Geeks4Geeks 390 challenge. So Geeks4Geeks has bought a 390 challenge for all of us, and basically in this challenge, if you purchase any course in the month of January and you finish 90% of that course within the next 90 days, so you will get your 90% of the amount as a refund. So it's a very great challenge. For that, you just need to visit the Geeks4Geeks website, and there you can pick any course you like. Okay, so I'll just take you there. I hope yes, everything is fine. So you can see that if I visit this website, you can see here we have the steps. So in the Geeks4Geeks website, we have some steps, and these are the basic 3 steps which you can follow to get the most benefit. And then we have the courses mentioned, and all the courses actually have this benefit, so it's totally up to you what course you like. You can check out all of the courses here, right? So some of the courses which I personally have monitored are, you can see that this was a great course, full stack development with React.js. And then one more course which I would like in future, if I want to learn something, then I can go with DSA plus development. This is a combination of 2 courses. It's like you would learn DSA also and development also, web development also, and some extra things also would be taught here. So you can check out any course here, and you would get the first of all description, a good description in a video also. Then you can see some alumni work, and then there are some steps, and then some more details about the course, and then the phases, what you learn and when you learn. Okay, so definitely check out these, and I hope everyone can get the most out of this 390 challenge. Perfect. Now guys, let's continue, and we are gonna build this. So for that, first of all, we need to have some installation. So let me just give you a quick view what we really need first. So first of all, we are gonna use VS Code IDE, so it must be installed. So you can just go to VS Code and you can just download and install the setup. And while installing the setup of VS Code, just check all the checkboxes so that you get all the shortcuts which I am using. Okay, perfect. Now one more thing which you can do is you need to install Node.js. Since we are using React.js, that is Next.js, we need Node.js pre-installed. Okay, so for that you just need to go to Node.js website. If your Node.js is not installed, so you can come here and you just need to click in this LTS, whatever version you might see later on, but the version must be LTS one. Okay, so LTS must be there. So if I click on this, it would download my Node.js setup. So once both of these things are downloaded and you install VS Code and Node.js, installing Node.js is also easy. Just need to open the setup and click next, 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 and it would be installed, just like a video game. Perfect. So we have VS Code and we have Node.js. That's all is needed for running the React.js application. Okay, so now I'm going to take you the React.js official website. Some of you might question that in the title it's mentioned React.js, then why you are using Next.js? Okay, so for that I'm going to take you to React.js official website. I would directly use React.js, that's also fine. That's exact same procedure which I'm going to follow today. But if I take you to React.js official website, they are themselves mentioning that if you want to install React.js, you can go with any framework of React.js, like Next.js is a framework of React.js. So that's why. So if I go to installation, and here we have start new project, and you can see as in the very first few lines they have mentioned that you can use Next.js, or you can use Remix, or you can use other frameworks which they have for React.js. But we are going to use Next.js because this is the most popular one and it's used for building websites. Okay, others are used for different things, like for example if I tell you about Expo, it's for mobile applications. Okay, so I would say you can go with this one. You can go with this one, create next step for using Next.js. Perfect. So this is the most supportive one which would help us to build websites similar to React.js. We're gonna build a website in Next.js. Okay, everything is fine. If you know React.js and you don't know Next.js, that's also fine because there is nothing different between these two. Next.js is just the modified version of React.js. That means the code would be exact same. Whatever code you write in React.js is exactly same in Next.js also. Okay, just the way of installation is a little bit different. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna copy this. Okay, just copy this, and now guys we're gonna create a fresh folder. So I'm just gonna go to my directory, and here I'll create a new folder. Okay, so I'm just gonna create a new folder and I'm just gonna name it as weather app. Okay, so I'm just gonna name this as weather app. I already created this today for referencing, for my referencing, but yeah, you can just ignore this. This is the main folder which we are working on. Okay, so I'm just gonna right click and I'm just gonna click on open with code, open with code. Okay, so you can see that it would open a folder in VS Code. That's what we wanted. So if you install VS Code properly, you would get it like this very easily. Open with code shortcut. Perfect. Now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go to our terminal and new terminal, and here guys, since we need a Next.js application, so I'm just gonna paste this command which we copied from the website. Okay, so that's it. That's what you need right now. If I just hit this, it would just create a Next.js application for us. Now we need to give it a name, so you can give it any name. I'm just gonna name it as weather app. Okay, so Glassmorphic, Glassmorphic, WEATHER, weather app. Okay, a very long name, but I think that's fine. Glassmorphic weather app. And that's totally up to you. You're gonna use TypeScript or not, but I'm just gonna mention yes because in Next.js people mostly use TypeScript. Although we are not gonna use TypeScript, we are just gonna use a shortcut for that. Like we are just gonna write code in JavaScript, but with some basics of TypeScript, which I'm gonna tell in right away. We are writing the code. Okay, so you don't need any knowledge of TypeScript. It's totally fine. Okay, but if you know TypeScript, you can use TypeScript a lot inside Next.js. So that's why I'm just gonna mention yes here. So yes, and then you're gonna use ESLint. ESLint is for checking error in a Next.js application. So I'm just gonna hit yes. We are not going to use Tailwind CSS, so make it no. And then we're gonna have src, then we're gonna have app router which is recommended, then we are not going to customize anything, so no. Okay, perfect. So you can see that now your Next.js application would set up very easily. Okay, you don't need any kind of specific high-end computer or anything. It would be installed very easily. Okay, you can see that it would now take a few seconds also depending on your internet speed, but yeah, it would create a project here like this. Okay, sample project here like this, and then we can customize it. We can write our own code inside this. Perfect. So now guys, you would see that we have the weather app here. Perfect. So now after this, what you have to do is, first of all, we need to get the API, like how we are going to get the data. It's not like I would be creating my own API for each city. I'll be going to Canada or any some specific place, city, country, anywhere. Okay, I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm not going to go to any city like Indore, Bhopal, any other city. I'm just going to use an API. API is a service like someone has done that job for you. Someone has brought the temperature for you and stored it in their database. You just need to get that data. It's like some other company has done the work for you and you just need to get that data. That's what API would help us to do. If I give you a very good example, let me just take you to Open Weather Map. And this video would also clear a lot of confusion of APIs. What is exactly an API? So we're going to clear that confusion. So again, I'm gonna mention this again. Suppose you are creating a weather app, we are creating a weather app, and I'm not going to visit any country or any city to get that weather data. Okay, I'm gonna use a service created by some others. For example, you want to show maps in any mobile application which you created. For example, Zomato or any other food delivery app, they show map. Okay, they show the maps. So do you think that they have created their own Google Earth like kind of thing? No, they have used Google Maps or some other source. Okay, that means they are just using APIs of Google Maps. Okay, something like that. So it's like they are not building their own service, they are outsourcing things. Okay, that means they are using services from Google Maps for this map integration and different kind of things. Okay, similarly, we're gonna use weather data from some other place for our application. Okay, so we're just gonna go to a website named as Open Weather Map. Okay, so I've been using this website for a lot of videos where I have shown the weather data, and I think it's from past 3-4 years this website has never disappointed. So hopefully this in future they never stop their services. Okay, so this is totally free to use. That's why I'm showing this. So you just need to type Open Weather Map, and in this website I think most of the tutorials in YouTube also would mention this. So this is a very popular one, by the way. So you can just go to this website, and here what you need to do is you just need to install, you just need to log in from here. Okay guys, so we're just gonna log in, and I think the task would be done. So here you can see, yes, mine is already logged in, by the way. So I'm just gonna log out again, and I'm gonna log in again. Okay, so you might see a login page like this. Just click on sign in, and you would see a login page like this. So you need to just log in. So I'm just gonna log in and submit, and you can see I've logged in successfully. Okay, you just need to do that. You don't need any kind of credit card details, anything, nothing is required. You just need to create an account and you would logged in successfully. Perfect. Now you just need to go here into the APIs. Okay, into the APIs, you can see we have a lot of things here. So here you can see we have current weather data. Okay, so just click on API doc. You can check out the other ones also, but right now I'm just checking this current weather data because this is the most popular one which I mostly use. So it's like if I pass any city name, I would get the weather data of that city. For example, if I go down a little bit, by the way, this is what kind of response you would get. You can see this is the response generally this API would give you. You can see, yes, a lot of things are mentioned here, but I'm gonna go down and I'm gonna search for that specific one which I'm gonna use. Okay, so by the way, you can read details about each field which you get in the API. Okay, you can read details what's exactly the meaning of each field which you get as a response. But I'm gonna go down and a little bit, yes, here you can see that I want this one. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy this link. I'm just gonna copy this link and I'm just gonna paste it here. Now, suppose I want the city name to be, suppose any city like Jabalpur. Okay, that's my hometown. So, city name, right? And then we need the API key to use this API. Okay, so you would get the API key from where? From this website only. That's free. API key is free. You'll just go here, and here we have my API keys. Okay, just click this and this would take you to the page, and here you can see we have a default generated API key. So I'm just gonna copy this. Okay, by default this API key would be generated for you. Just copy this, Control C, and then guys we are just gonna paste it here. Okay, so you can see for this city I just want to get the weather data. Okay, so if I hit enter, you can see that for this city I'm getting the weather data. Okay, by the way, this dark format you see here, this JSON object format you see here, is because of an extension which I'm using in Chrome. So what you can do is you can just search for JSON placeholder. Okay, I'm sorry. JSON formatter extension. Just search for this and you can just go to Google extensions, Chrome extensions, and this is the extension which I'm using. Just install this, and then whenever you have this kind of response, JSON kind of response, so you would see it in this format. Else, if you don't have the extension, you would see some format like this. So you can see it's very less readable and it's confusing. Where are the commas? Where are the dots? Very confusing. That's why I am using this extension, JSON formatter extension. Okay. So here you can see, yeah, it's little bit more formatted and easy to understand. Okay. So now suppose if I want to get the city name out of this, what I would do is, in this extension I have to find the city name. How can I find? You can see that if I want to find the city name, I would simply go to name. Okay, whatever is the response. Suppose the response is data, so I'm just gonna say data dot name. That would be this city, Jabalpur. Okay, similarly, suppose if I want to get visibility, so I'm just gonna say data dot visibility, that's 4000, right? Similarly, suppose I want to get the wind speed, so data dot wind dot speed would give me 3.09 kilometer per hour. Okay, so that's how things would be working here. So now we got the API response. That means we are gonna use this specific API to get the weather data. If I want to get the data for any other place, for example, if I type here Indore, okay, suppose if I type this city, beautiful city, so you can see that we basically get the data of Indore. Okay, right? And we also get the weather type. You can see right now Indore has weather cloudy. Okay, so that means clouds. Right now, one more, if I type something else, like for example, if I type Delhi, if I write Delhi, so you can see I'm getting Delhi's data and smoke. Okay, it's like uh, the weather is not that good there. Okay, so it's smoke there. Okay, perfect. And we can write a few more places, like if suppose if I write a country, let's see what happens. So in case if you write a country, so if I write India, okay, so yes, so you can see that, yeah, it's saying cloud. So for India, if you write a country, you can see, yes, it's giving me some wrong place. Okay, so it's like you can just type cities here. It's only for cities. Perfect. Now we got the clue. It's only for cities. That means this is not for a country. So we're just gonna go with our cities only. Perfect. So now guys, you just need to save this somewhere. Just copy this somewhere and we're gonna save it somewhere. Okay, so since we created a fresh project in VS Code, right? So we are gonna open that project, right? We created this, we named this as Glassmorphic Weather app. Don't worry, I'm gonna share the complete source code of today's video, so you can easily check out the source code. Okay, perfect. So here what we're gonna do is, I'm just gonna click on new file, and here we are just gonna name it as .env.local. Why? Because we are getting a secret API key, so we have to save it somewhere secretly. Okay, so that we can circulate that API key throughout our application and it's not a security concern later. Okay, so for that we have to save the secret key here. Okay, right now I'm just gonna paste my API directly here. Later on I'm just gonna save this key, which is very important, into my env file, which is this file. Okay, now for that what we're gonna do is, I'm just gonna name an env variable. You can give any env variable, but since we are using Next.js, so your env variable must start with next underscore public. Okay, if you write this, then Next.js would identify this easily. Okay, I have read this somewhere, that's why I'm telling you. Okay, so here I have just to write weather, weather weather underscore app, okay, API. I'm just gonna write it like this, API key. So this is, you can just name it anything. I've just named it weather API key equals, and I'm just gonna paste this key which I got. So I'm just gonna copy this key and I'm gonna paste it here. Perfect. Like you can use my key also, but I won't recommend that, because if a lot of people would use my key, so they would get slow responses. So it's recommended you can create your own account and open weather map website, and from there you can get the API key for free. Okay, so yeah, you can get the this key for free from the website. Okay, fine. Now what else we need? We are just gonna go to our page.tsx. So I'm just gonna go to page.tsx, and I'm just gonna remove everything from here. This is a basic Next.js application. Let me just explain what's actually happening here. I'm gonna create a division here, and I'll create a h1 tag here. I'm just gonna write, hey there, this is GFG. Okay, so that's it, and I'm just gonna remove this CSS, page.module.css. I'm gonna remove this, and from global CSS I'm just gonna select all and I'm gonna remove this. Perfect. Now guys, everything is removed, and in the home page, this page.tsx is basically home page. Okay, right now you might feel that what kind of application I created. I just created a basic Next.js application. Inside this we have page.tsx, which is treated as home page. We're gonna do everything here. If you don't know React.js, if you don't know Next.js, totally fine. You're gonna do everything here. It looks like an HTML page. Like you can see, this is an HTML tag. Inside this we have h1 tag. Okay, so if you know HTML, CSS, JavaScript, you can easily do this. Okay, so this is our home page. We're gonna do everything here, and this would contain our CSS, page.module.css. And then we have global.css also. Here also we're gonna have our CSS, but main page is page.tsx. Okay, here we're gonna write everything. So I'm just gonna run this application first so that you know. Okay, so I'm just gonna write here. I'm just gonna right click, open an integrated terminal, and you can see we have Glassmorphic weather app. That means it's totally in the same directory. Now I'm just gonna type npm run dev. So to run a React.js and Next.js application, you need to write npm run dev. Okay, npm run dev. This is for Next.js. For React.js, I think it was just npm start, but we are using Next.js. So npm run dev. So you can see that it has started, and what I'm gonna do is I think I need to restart, because I'm just gonna start it in localhost 3000 directly. So yes, so it would start it in localhost 3000. I'm gonna show you this page. Okay, so here guys, what you need to do is you just need to type localhost 3000. That's it. So once you type this, it would land it to your specific page. You can see, yes, this is the home page which I told you about, page.tsx. Inside this we created a h1 tag. Hey there, this is me, GFG. Okay, that means everything is perfect here. Inside this I'm gonna call my API data. Okay, I'm gonna call what kind of data? I'm gonna call this data. I'm gonna show this data. How can I do that? Let's do this. So for that guys, assume that you have a place. Okay, assume that you have a place. How you can say, suppose I'm gonna say my place would be some variable. So for that I'm gonna create use state. Use state is like, right now you can say value is empty, later on the value might come. So right now you are saying use state. That means if the value changes, just recall the API, just refresh the data. Suppose right now I'm watching the data of Jabalpur, but suppose someone wrote Indore later on. Okay, Indore as city later on. So I want to change the data. For that, first of all, I'm gonna change the place. So for that, I'm just creating a hook here. So place dot set place, perfect, equals, here you just need to import use state from React.js, and suppose the default value is this city, Jabalpur. Okay, so here I've just named this city as default for place. That means if I'm calling printing place, I'm getting Jabalpur as a result. Okay, that means if I write console.log place, if I write console.log place, I would print Jabalpur. Okay, that's it. So I've just imported used it. And one more thing which you need to type, since we are using Next.js, so at the top you need to write use client. Okay, use client. That's it. Okay, so this is for Next.js only, right? So we have done this. Else everything is same for React.js, nothing different. If you are just using plain React.js, everything is same. Just this is specific for Next.js. That's it. Okay, so here guys, you have imported use state, the hook which we have in React.js also, and here I'm just gonna call the API. So for the API, I'm just gonna create a function, get weather data. Okay, get weather data, right? So this is the API which I'm gonna call, and this is going to be an asynchronous function. And again, I'm just gonna say that as soon as my page loads, I wanna call this API. So WEATHER. Okay, so as soon as my page loads, I wanna call this function. I'm gonna call this function. How can I do this? For that, I'm just gonna write use effect. So use effect is a hook in React.js which would basically help you to get data in some cases. For example, if I write if I write here comma and empty brackets, that means I am saying whatever is inside this, whatever is inside these brackets would be called as soon as the page loads. That's what is the meaning of use effect. That means it would load data for one time. So if I want to call something for one time, I would just call this. Okay, I would call this. Inside this, I would just call my function. That's what I want to call for one time whenever the page loads. Okay, whenever the page loads, I'm not saying there is any city change, anything, nothing. I'm just saying whenever the page loads, I'm gonna call this function first. Okay, that's it. So we have called this. Now here guys, what you can do is you can just call your API. Now what's your API? You know that this is the API, right? This is the API which you are calling. From that, this is the variable which you created. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut this from here. I'm gonna paste this somewhere at inside this. Okay, I'm just gonna paste it inside this, and just comment it out. Okay, so this is the API which I'm gonna call. Out of this, this is my API key. Out of this, this is my API key. So I'm just gonna call the API key from which page? From env local page. So I'm just gonna copy this, okay, and I'm just gonna say here itself at the top, I'm just gonna say let weather underscore API underscore key equals, and here I'm just gonna write process dot env and then the variable name. So as soon as I write this, guys, I would target this specific value. That means you can see I don't need to write this value every time. I just need to call this variable wherever we need this value. Okay, so that's the use of env, and we have made this very secure. You can see I can't see this value directly. Okay, so if I want to share my project, I won't be sharing the env local file. I'll be sharing all of the files so that they can see everything, they can do everything, but they can't use my services. Okay, like this. Okay, perfect. So you have the weather API key. Now instead of this, I would show my weather API key. That's what I want. Okay, instead of that whole API key, I would just show this variable. That's what I want. Okay, so for that, guys, I'm just gonna use fetch. So first of all, I'm just gonna say that if place exists, okay, if place is there, okay, that means it's not null. Okay, if place contains something, that means right now you can see this is not null. Okay, this is not null, this is something, and it's a string, so its length is greater than 0. So you can see there is a city. Obviously the name would be greater than just a letter. You can see it has more than one letter. Okay, so obviously you're just gonna say that place dot length is greater than 0. That's it. So when it happens like this is the condition, then you're just gonna call the API. So I'm just gonna say try, and inside this, guys, I'm just gonna say that we're gonna call our API, and in the catch case, I'm just gonna say whatever is the error, I'm just gonna print that error. Console.log error would be printed. And the try catch, I'm just gonna say, first of all, I'll call my API. Okay, I'll call my API. So I'll just say that let URL. What is your URL? So I'm just gonna write my URL like this. So our URL is basically this. Okay, our URL is basically this. So you just need to write it here. Now your city would change later, right? So for that, I'm just gonna target my place. So I'm just gonna write dollar. I'm just gonna target my place variable. Okay, according to the place variable, I'll get the data. Initially, the place variable is Jabalpur, so I'll get data for Jabalpur. Then we have to write one more thing. What we have to write the API ID also. So I'm just gonna write dollar, and here I'm just gonna write API weather API key. Okay, weather API key. That's it, guys. I'm just gonna write it here. That's it. So this is our URL which we are gonna call, right? This is the URL which we are gonna call. So I created this URL. Now what we have to do is we just need to fetch it. So for that we use fetch. Okay, we use fetch. You can use Axios also, but I'm gonna use fetch. Okay, so let res equals await fetch URL. That's it. I'm gonna fetch this URL. That means whatever is this URL giving me, I'm just fetching that. That means I'm just getting this data. This whole data. I got this whole data. I have to just convert this data. This data would be generally in string format. So I have to convert this data into JSON format. For that, what I can do is I'll just say let data equals res.json. That's it. Now I have the data in JSON format. Okay, now I'm just gonna print that data, console.log, and here I can just write get weather data response. Okay, so I'm just gonna type it like this, and after this I'm just gonna print the value whatever data is giving me. Okay, so now guys, let's try this. So I'm saying as soon as my application loads, I'm gonna call this function. So let's do this. In this page, you can see that what I would get is I would just go to console, and here if I just refresh, I must get something. Okay, so you can see I am getting something, but the promise is pending. Why the promise is pending? Because we have to use await here. Okay, we have to use await here. Perfect. So now let's see again if I just refresh, and you can see that I got the weather data. Perfect. So you can see this is the data which I printed. Get weather data response. This is the data which I printed. Suppose from this I want to get the city name. So what I'm going to do is just print data.name. So I'll just do this data.name. That's it. So you would see that I am getting what if I refresh now. If I refresh, can see I'm getting data name. Okay, that means city name. Perfect. So that's how it would help you. Right, guys? So first of all, I hope you understood how this API is being called. Now, guys, we're gonna design our page. Okay, we're gonna design our page. Let's do this. Akib Malik. Hi, Akib Malik. Lucifer, my fitness app update हुआ क्या? No, not right now. I wasn't able to update that. Soon I'll update that. Right now I'm just stuck with a lot of tutorials actually. Because of Geeks for Geeks 390 challenge, mostly I have to take 2 to 3 sessions of Geeks for Geeks every day, and then I have to prepare content for that also. So that's why I wasn't able to work on that old project. Uh, Basically everything was done in that project, but the source code was deleted, so I wasn't able to share the source code. That's what is the problem with fitness app. Okay, so I'm trying to recode it so that I can share it again. Okay, so I'll soon do that. I'll update the source code and I'll update you also. I think you have messaged me on Instagram, so I got your message on Instagram. I'll update you there also. Okay, right. Okay, so guys, now we have the data. Perfect. Now we have to show this data into our UI. Okay, so let's build our UI. Now building the UI is very easy. Like it's like damn easy. What you need to do is you just need to say that first of all, I'm just gonna say we have a division. Okay, so by the way, we are taking CSS from where? We are taking CSS from page.module.css. So if you are using Next.js, so way of writing CSS is different. That's what we're gonna follow. But if you are using normal React.js, that what you do, you just give it a class name. Inside that, what you do is you just write the CSS. Okay, it's like I just gave a class name, I'm just gonna write CSS like this. That's what you do in normal React.js. Okay, that's what you do in normal React.js. But what we're gonna do is, since our CSS would be inside this page.module.css, so we're just gonna say that class name, and inside this, guys, I'm just gonna type styles dot outer div. Okay, that's it. So I'm just gonna style it like this. Okay, so if you have to style, you just need to import CSS like this, import styles. That's default done in this page, so you don't need to do anything, but you need to write it like this. So that's how I've just given my class name. This is the class name, right? Now inside this, guys, I'm just gonna say that I have to style this. Okay, so for that, suppose you have an image. Okay, so inside the src, I'm gonna have an image assets. Okay, so I have just downloaded some random image from Canva. So this is a copyright free image which I got, so I just downloaded this for suppose depicting some weather. Okay, so that's why I've downloaded it. Okay, so you can see it looks cool, so we're gonna use this image. You can use some other image also if you like some other image. Okay, so I'm taking this image as a sample. Although I'm gonna share complete source code of today, so you can take out this image from there also, you'll get the image. Okay, so now, guys, what you can do is I've just named it as bg.png, by the way. So what you can do is you just need to go to page.module.css and you need to write the CSS for what? You need to write the CSS for this page.tsx. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy this class and I'm gonna go to page.module.css. I'm just gonna paste it here. Okay, so dot and then the class name, and inside this we're gonna write everything. Perfect. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna say that I'm gonna take the whole space. So first of all, my background would be what? Suppose my background would be this URL. Okay, what URL you're gonna pass here? So I'm just gonna say dot slash. Okay, I'm gonna write dot slash, single dot slash, actually single dot and slash, double dot slash. Okay, double dot slash. So assets slash bg.png. That's it. So I've given this outer div a background. Let's see how it looks. So you can see, yeah, it is having a background, but I have to give it full size. We have to give it full size. For that, I'll just say background. First of all, background size must be cover. Okay, so background size must be cover. Okay, and one more thing which we're gonna have is display as flex direction as column. That means everything which I'm going to show in this page would be in column format, and then everything would be in center. So align item center. Okay, then what we're going to say is that means center from this side. Okay, center from this side, this center. Okay, so now we are going to say we'll have a height also. So I'm just going to say the height of this would be 100 vh. You can change it, but yeah, this is the height. Perfect. So you can see that's how it looks, and you can see we have some default padding, so we have to remove that default padding anyhow. How can I remove that? For that, we need to say here we have global CSS. Here I'm just gonna write star, and I'm just gonna say m0 means margin 0 and padding 0, so p0. Perfect. So you can see now, guys, it's removed. Perfect. So now you can see that it looks like this. If you want to change this image, you can change this anytime. Now first of all, guys, we need to show a search bar for searching the city. Okay, for searching the city. For that, what you can do is you can just create a division here. I'm just gonna create a division here, close this, and I'm just gonna give it a class name. Inside this I'm just gonna write styles dot searchbar. Okay, search bar. Now guys, inside this I'm gonna say whatever input you type here is gonna be your place. Like I type the city name inside this. Okay, so I'm just gonna say type of this would be first of all text. Okay, type of this would be text. You can make it type as search, okay, so that you have a cross button also. So type as search. Okay, then the placeholder equals city name. Okay, city name. And I'm just gonna type on change. Whenever you make a change inside this, what I'm gonna say is it would set the place value. You can see this is the place value. So I'm just gonna say if you write Bhopal inside this, so I'm just gonna say Bhopal would be passed here. Okay, whatever city, if you write any city, like if you write Ayodhya, if you write Ayodhya here, so you would get Ayodhya, set it here. Okay, how can you do this? You just gonna do just write it like this, set place, and inside this we have e dot target dot value. Okay, that's it. So I'm just gonna say whatever I'm writing inside this input would be set it to that place. Okay, now the place would be that specific input value. So whatever city you write here inside this input field would be passed there in the set place. Okay, perfect. Now this is it. And one more thing is we're gonna have a button. We are gonna provide it a like on click. So how it would work, as soon as I click on this, I want to get the weather data, so I'll be calling this function get weather data, right? So I'm just gonna copy this function and it would just get me the weather data. That's it. So I've called this function. Okay, so inside this button I can just show some icons. So for that what I can do is I can just go to MUI for showing the icons. I'm just gonna type MUI. You can just type this MUI. Okay, and here you'd get the React components also, icons also. I'm just gonna go here, and this one I'm just gonna copy this. Okay, and I'm gonna paste it here. Okay, so I'm just gonna split it here and I'll paste things here. Okay, paste. And one more thing guys which you need to do is you need to go to get started, and in the installation you would go down a little bit, and here guys you would see MUI icon. So I'm just gonna copy this. Okay, and I'm gonna paste it here. That's it. Okay, so now we have MUI installed, so we can easily use this. Okay, now I'm gonna simply search about MUI icons. So you would get this website. Okay, MUI icons. You don't need to install anything now, everything is done. Here what you need to do is you just need to search for icons. So I'm just gonna search for search icon. So SEARCH, and you get this search. Okay, you get this icon. So you're just gonna copy this. Okay, this is gonna copy this. Okay, now what you need to do is you just need to paste that icon here. Perfect. Now what we can do is we can simply import search icon as a tag. Okay, as a tag. So inside this I'm just gonna import search icon as a tag. Okay, now let's see how it looks. So I'm just gonna go here and let's refresh. So you can see I'm getting the search icon as well as the search bar, that means input. So this is the search bar division. Now let's style this guys. We are gonna style this. So I'm just gonna go to page.module.css and we are gonna style this. Okay, let's come back. Yes, so let's say that the search bar would be first of all SEARCHBAR. Inside this, we'll just say that display is flex first of all. That means items would be in row. The input would be like this and the button would be like this. They would be in row. And then we're gonna give it a background color. So we'll just say that it would be having a transparent Glassmorphic background color. So RGBA, and inside this we'll just say 0, 0, 0. What you can do is you can just write RGB here, and you know that this is a black color, so you can just decrease this transparency so it would look Glassmorphic. That's it. Okay, so now you can add some properties also later on, so it would just look different. So right now you can see that yeah, we don't have any padding, that's why we are not able to see this. So we're just gonna say that we have border radius also. For example, border, just a second guys. Okay, so border radius would be around 20 pixel, and then we are gonna have overflow of this as hidden. That means there won't be any overflow, the buttons would be inside the border. Okay, and then we have the border as none. Okay, we don't have any border. Then we have align items as center, because we have an input and a button, so I want them to align as center. Okay, and then we have margin between the other items as 10 pixel. Okay, so margin. Okay, so you can see right now it looks like this, so we have to make this input a little bit bigger. So we'll come here and I'm just gonna say that dot search bar input, let's say that the width of this would be around 300 pixels, but you can increase this 300 pixel. I'm just gonna say 300 pixel. Okay, so you can see yes, and we're gonna say that we have some padding also. So padding would be around 20 pixel. Okay, and then we have the background color as transparent. So transparent would actually adapt the behind color, so you can see that it adapted the behind color. Now we don't any border any outline, so we're just gonna remove this from the input. Okay, so from the input any border or outline would be removed. You can see any border or outline is basically removed, right? Now let's come back and we are gonna say that the text color which you're gonna write here is gonna be white and the font size is gonna be 18 pixel. Okay, so let's see. So you can see that text color is white and font size is 18 pixel. Okay, perfect. And you get the cross button because the type of this is search. Okay, so if I cross this, you can see everything is removed, so it looks cool. Perfect. Now what else we need to do is we need to design the button also. So I'm just gonna say that search bar button, and here I'll just say that the width of this button would be 50 pixel and height of this button would be 50 pixel, and would be background color would be transparent. Okay, and we're just gonna say that this button is not going to have any border, so border none, and again outline would be also none, and cursor would be pointer as soon as I hover on this button. And then we are just gonna say that color of this icon would be white, so it would become white like this. So you can see that's how it looks, and I think it looks cool. Okay, so now what you need to do is you need to get the city data. So for that, what you're gonna show is, for example, as soon as you get the city data, you have to show it here. Okay, so I'm just gonna say that if we have the place data. Now what's the place data? It's like you got the data here, right? You got the data here. You have to save it somewhere. Okay, so I'm just gonna save it into one of my hook. Okay, into one of my hook. I'm just gonna create one hook here. I'm just gonna name it as place data. So it would contain the response, the complete temperature and details. Set place data, and initially this would be empty object, right? So actually I'm gonna make it as null. Okay, I'm gonna make it as null. That would be better initially. Okay, that's it. And I'm just gonna say that the type of this would be any. Okay, type of this would be any. Since we are using TypeScript, so you have to mention the type here, because later on you would get a complete object. So from null you are changing it to a object. So first of all here I'm just mentioning the type as any, or what you can do is you can mention null and object like that, things like that, but I'm just mentioning any since I assume that you don't know TypeScript, so I'm going to mention as any. Okay, perfect. So here I've just done one thing, and I'm just going to say that if I got the place data, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do one thing. I'm just gonna show one thing here for now. I'm just gonna create a division. Okay, create a division, and I want to show the city name. Okay, so right now you got the data, from that you have the name, that's the city name. So here I'll just say set place data, I'm just gonna pass data. Okay, that means complete object would be passed. From that I have to show the city name. How can I do that? So I'm just gonna say place data dot name. That's it. That's what I'm gonna show here. Okay, let's see if it works. So this is it would give me some response. So I'm just gonna type here, suppose the city name. Okay, if I type here and let's search. So right now I'm not getting anything. Why I'm not getting anything? Because of, let's go to console, and here I think we need to refresh first. Get weather data. Okay, I think we need to refresh first. Okay, let's refresh first, and then guys you can see, okay, I'm getting something. If I write some other city name, okay, if I write some other city name, let's see. So you can see that yes, I'm getting that city name. Perfect. So you can see that I'm able to get that name. Now I'm going to show the complete data. Okay, I have to show the complete data. What I can do is I'm just gonna write things like that. I'm just gonna say JSON dot stringify. For now I'm just gonna write it like this and place data, so that you see the complete data here. So let's see. So if I write here Bhopal, okay, if I write here Bhopal, so if I hit this, I must get the data actually. Let's see again. So yes, okay, I think it would work. For Jabalpur I got the data, and similarly for Bhopal I have to again get the data. Okay, if I search this, you can see that I got the data. Perfect. It's working perfect. Just a refresh was needed. Perfect. Now I have to show the complete data in an order. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow an order for getting the data. So what I'll do is for each city, for example, you are printing the data. You can see that the weather type is haze. Weather type is haze. So for haze, you have an icon. For cloudy, you have an icon. For sunny, you have an icon, right? So different weathers would have different icons. I'm just going to go here and we'll first of all say that we have class name of this as styles dot row. Okay, styles dot row. Inside this we'll have a division. I'm just gonna name it as section 1. So I'm just gonna give class name styles dot section 1. Perfect. Section 1. Now inside this, guys, we're gonna have two sections. Here. So I'm just gonna again create a division, and we'll just have a class name as styles dot section 1 1. Okay, so I'm just gonna create two columns inside section 1 row. Okay, so I'm just creating two columns. So this is the column number 1, and similarly we have created another column. That's it. So you can see we have created two columns inside section 1. That's it. So that's what we needed for the first section. And then for the second section, that means for the right side, I'm gonna create a time clock. So I'm just gonna show time there. Okay, so another one, and here I'm just gonna say class name, and let's say that the styles of this would be dot time div. Okay, and inside this we're going to show the time. So we're going to show the time. I'm just going to give this a class name of styles dot time. Okay, so inside this I have to show the time. So for getting the time, I'll just say const current time equals, and from that I have to just extract the time. I would just say that new date, and I would just convert it to local string. So to local string, okay, to local time string actually. And inside this we are just gonna say we need just the hour and the minute. So here I'll just say hour 2 digit and minute 2 digit. Okay, so yes, that's what you can write here. Okay, and I think we don't need the 12-hour format, we'll need the 24-hour format. Okay, so that's fine. Okay, so you can see that's the format. I'm just saying I want the hour and the minute from the time. Now here I'm just gonna show that time here. So I'll just go here, I'm just gonna write current time. That's it. So time would be shown. That's it. Now in section 1 what you need to show, you need to show the weather type and weather icon and the place. Okay, so I'll just say in the section 1 we basically we should basically say here we have section 1 right? So here we're just gonna say we have different types of data. Right now we're getting haze type of data. So we'll just say that if the type is haze, how are we gonna know that? So I'm just gonna first of all print data. I'll show you. Okay, for different places we have different data. Right now you see that for a city like Jabalpur, okay, for this city you can see that if I go to main, you can see temperature is different, and when I go to weather you can see that inside this we have main as haze. That means the weather type of Jabalpur is haze. If I type any other city name, if I type Delhi, you would see that the weather type here is smoky. So if I just show you this, can see that in the weather you can see that the main is smoke. That means for each kind of city there can be different kind of weather, right? So I'm just gonna show some icons for that. So I'm just gonna say that if in this case I'm just gonna say that here if the weather main, so place data dot weather, and you can see that place data dot weather is basically an array, and I have to target basically the 0th index. So that's why I'm writing 0 here. Place dot weather is basically an array. Okay, you would see this as an array. Can see that weather is basically an array. That's why we have to target the 0th index of this array, right? So we have simply written 0 dot main, and here suppose if I say that the weather is clouds, clouds. Okay, if the weather is clouds, and in that case what I'm going to show is I'm going to show an cloudy icon. So for that I'll just go here into material icons again, and here I'll just copy the clouds. Okay, so cloud cloud. If I write this, you can see we have a lot of icons. I'm just going to copy this icon, copy, and I'm going to paste that, import that here. okay, and we're gonna use this icon here. Okay, and one more thing, I'm just gonna give it a class name of styles dot weather icon. Okay, weather icon. That's it. So if the weather is cloudy, I'll get this icon. Similarly, if the weather is haze, so I'll again search for haze icon in MUI, and I'm gonna import that similarly. And I'm gonna import dehaze icon from MUI similarly. Okay, now we have the dehaze icon also if the weather type is haze. Now similarly, if you have smoke icon, so I'm just gonna search for smoke also. So SMOKE. Okay, so smoke, I think SMOKY. SMOKE. Okay, I'll just pick this one. Okay, I'll pick this one. This looks funny. So I'll just say that if the weather type is smoke, so I have to import this smoke type. Okay, and here I'll just say that if weather type is smoke, so weather type is SMOKE. Okay, so I'm just gonna say that the icon would be SMOKE. Okay, I have to just import this. Its name is vaping. Okay, vaping rooms actually. Vaping. Vaping is same like similar to smoking. Okay, so yes, so you can see that I have these icons. So let me just check if I get the icons or not. So if I just refresh for now, right now you can see we have haze icon. It might look very small, but yeah, we have haze icon. Similarly, if I write Delhi here, okay, Delhi, so you can see I get the smoke icon. Perfect. So we have the icons. Now similarly, you might have different weather types. For each you can show different icons. Okay, right now I have shown for some samples, I've shown this. Similarly, we have sunny weather also. So for that we can show one more icon like sunny icon. So I'm just gonna search for one more icon, which is sunny. Okay, so sunny. So you can see for sunny, you can show this icon, copy, and I'm gonna paste this icon here. So it's WB sunny icon, right? So here I'll just say that if weather type is sunny, okay, so weather type is sunny or clear. In those cases, I'll be showing it like this. Okay, perfect. So you can see that for clear, I have showing this icon. Similarly, for sunny or different weather types, you can show different icons for different response. You have to check it personally. Okay, that's it. So we have most common ones. I've shown the most common ones, but you have to check it manually. If you don't see an icon, that means the weather type would be different for that case, so you have to add that thing here. Perfect. Now we have the weather types in the section 1. Now one more thing which I want to show is the temperature. So here itself I'm going to show my temperature. Temperature is basically inside the main field. Okay, so if I show you the response, go to the response, you can see inside this we have the main. Inside this we have temperature. The temperature is basically in Kelvin, so we have to convert this into Celsius. So here just I'm gonna create a p tag and let's give it a class name. Okay, and we'll just say that styles dot temperature, and inside this we're just going to say place data, place data. If place data exists, then look for main. Inside this we look for temperature and we subtract 273.15. Okay, we do this because we have to convert this data into Celsius format, from Kelvin to Celsius format. That's why we are doing this. Okay, minus 273.15. And one more thing, guys, we have to just get only the one decimal value. Okay, you might get some 10 decimal values after a decimal point. So for ignoring that, we have to write 2 fixed as 1. And then after that, I'll create one more division. From that, we are gonna show degree Celsius. Okay, for that we're gonna show degree Celsius. So just come here and degree Celsius. That's it. So if I just show you here, you can see for daily you might get something. Okay, later on we'll show everything here. So the section 1 is done. Okay, section 1 is done. Similarly, we have another section 1. This would contain another kind of data. So what we have to show inside this, we have to show the city data. Okay, so I'm just gonna show the city name, right? Similarly, I'm going to show the weather type, that is sunny or haze, whatever. I'm just going to show that text. Okay, that's it. So we have shown these things. Now guys, one more thing, we have this time division also. So we have created the time division. We're simply going to have one more division. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy this. Okay, I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna paste it here. Okay, and we'll paste it here, and we'll say that we have another section named as section 2. Okay, section 2. So I'll just create this section. and this is going to contain some general things. Okay, first of all, the first thing which we're gonna have is temperature. So I'm gonna show temperature like this. So I've created section 2.1 as division. Inside this we have one heading and another right heading name for the temperature. Similarly, we're gonna show temperature minimum. So we're gonna extract temperature minimum from the API like this. Similarly, guys, we're gonna extract temperature maximum. Okay, same procedure. Similarly, we're gonna extract the humidity from the API. We're gonna show the humidity also. Similarly, we're gonna show the pressure, visibility, and wind speed. Okay, perfect. So pressure, visibility, and the wind speed. So you can see we have shown everything from the API. You can check the response and you can compare things now, right? So now we have shown everything, guys. Now, guys, we just need to just style this a little bit more. Okay, so I'm just gonna style it again into my page.module. So you can see we created the search bar. We styled the search bar. Now let's talk about this row. Okay, let's talk about this row. So we'll style this row. Okay, inside this row I've simply said display flex and space between, so you can see it's on the left side, it's on the right side. Perfect. Now we have the section 1 inside this row. Okay, so section 1 inside this row would be having this background color and some border and some width. And similarly we have a time division, so time division would also have something like this, similar design, but time division I want the time to be in center. So you can see that this is the time division and this is the row division. Perfect. Now we have the time field also. So I'm just gonna say time field would be yellowish in color. Time is yellowish color, and font size is basically this one, right? Similarly, we have section 2. So I'm gonna style my section 2. I'm just gonna say section 2 would be in absolute bottom, and if everything is out, you can see we have 10 20 items in section 2. So I'm just gonna say flex wrap, that means next item in next row. Okay, so you can see section 2 would look like this. Okay, right now you can see it looks very small, but we're gonna show things here. Okay, now similarly we have section 2 1 inside section 2. I'm just gonna say each division is gonna take 45% of it. That means in each row we have two divisions only, 45%, 45%. Then next row would be containing 45%, 45% because of flex wrap. Okay, now here you can see that yeah, we have some kind of data here. Now we have weather icon also, so I'm gonna style my weather icon. Okay, it would be in bigger in size, so you can see weather icon would be in bigger in size. Now we have section 1 1. So I'm gonna style section 1 1 also, so it would be again having something like this. You can see section 1 1. Okay, now we have temperature. Okay, so we have temperature. I'm gonna style the temperature and the span inside that temperature. You can see temperature and span inside that temperature. And then we have the city and the weather type. Okay, city and the weather type. Okay, perfect. City and the weather type, again some p tags, very easy. So you can see city and the weather type. And one more thing that is in the bottom, we have to show this head 1 and head 2. Okay, so head 1 would be styled like this. Okay, you can see this is head 1, and similarly guys we have head 2. Okay, very easy styling, right? So you can see that now the styling is completed, right? So guys, you can see that the application is completed, although you can add some more changes, things which you want to show. Suppose for different city, for this city, okay, you have to show some data. So you can see for the city, you can see data has been changed. So perfect, it's working perfectly, and you can see I'm getting data. If I refresh this page, the default city which I have set here is Jabalpur. You can leave it as empty also, like you can leave it as empty also if you want. You can just leave this part as empty. This is totally up to you. Okay, if I just remove this, it would be empty. Okay, I can make it null or whatever I want by default. Okay, but you can see it looks fine. And now the code is completed, guys. So I'm gonna upload this code to my GitHub profile. Okay, so just wait a few minutes, I'll just upload it. So I'm just gonna search for github.com/viraj014. This is my GitHub profile. I'll just share this in the live chat also. You can find it in my live chat. And if you want to follow me, you can follow me here in you can check out my Instagram or LinkedIn also later. In the repositories, I'll just show you this code. I'll just upload this code. Okay, so I think we have to create a new repo, and I'm just gonna name it as GLASSMORPHIC weather underscore React. Okay, React JS. Okay, perfect. React.JS slash next. Okay, and next. Okay, and next.js, so that you know that it's in next.js. Okay, and next.js. Perfect. So you can see that repo is created, and I'm just gonna upload the source code to my GitHub profile so that you can get the source code from there. Just wait a few seconds. I'm just gonna upload it, and it would be done. Okay, so git add dot and git commit m final and git and push. Okay. Perfect. So now guys, I've uploaded the complete source code of today's video. You can find it on my GitHub profile. I'll just show it to you. You just need to type github.com/viraj014, and here you can just go to repositories and you have the Glassmorphic weather React.JS Next.js. Okay, if I just show you this, this is the complete source code for today. You would find the source code for today here, right? So now the video is complete, guys. I hope you understood this project, and this was a very cool project for those who want to learn basics and just start with React.js or Next.js. It's a very good video. You can implement the same code in plain React.js also, but we have implemented in Next.js. Why? Because obviously nowadays Next.js is recommended by React.js official website. That's why we have used it here, right? So the source code is here. I hope you understood this video, and don't forget to check out the Geeks for Geeks 390 challenge. This challenge basically has a very great opportunity for you. If you purchase any course in the month of January and you finish 90% of the course within the next 90 days, you get the 90% of your amount as a refund. So you can check out the Geeks for Geeks website. The link is available in the description. And in the next video, we are gonna bring some more projects. You can mention that in the comment section what kind of specific projects if you want. If you want some longer projects, like if you want complete month stack projects, you can mention that, so that Geeks for Geeks would allow me to bring bigger projects also in future. Okay, so I hope you understood this video, and I will see you in the next one. Till then,